Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media. A special good afternoon. There are three matters that I have to report on this from Cabinet. This morning, I'm pleased to inform that Cabinet considered a framework for the evaluation of all energy sector development projects that require the processing of natural gas as feedstock or utilized as fuel for the production of finished products. You would recall that in our manifesto, we had indicated that we would be committed to open and transparent operations of the energy sector, one of them being how we select projects downstream in terms of natural gas utilization. What we have done is that we have developed this evaluation framework. And in this framework, what we have done is we have allocated a number of categories. So out of 100 points, it's a point system that will be used for the evaluation of these projects, and the ministry will establish a project evaluation unit to carry out these evaluations. What we have included in our framework, first of all, is the degree of value added in the production process, which is 15 points, the environmental impact, and this includes whether or not the processes being used are those that are clean processes with minimum emissions to the environment, or where mitigation measures may be used. The capital expenditure for the projects as a measure of the permanent jobs per $1,000 expended and investment dollars per million BTU of natural gas consumed. The early construction plan in terms of utilization of natural gas, that is going to have 10 points. This is a measure of the project's risk profile in terms of project execution risk, financial risk, operational and marketing risk. The degree of local content, as you know, we are very committed to local content, so any such downstream project, we would be looking at awarding 10 points for the degree of local content as a key indicator of the access that the project offers of creating value directly to local finished financial institutions, local energy services sector, local providers of engineering design, project management, information technology, and so on. The energy efficiency issues, as you would note, that is something that we are very committed to, and you have heard me speak on that issue before. We are awarding 5 points for the inclusion of energy efficiency. The extent of variation between key terms, because what will be happening is that the Ministry of Energy will determine the gas price for such projects, but where there is a need or the proposer of projects require that there is a variation of that gas price, then that gap that they are asking for or the reduction will be based on an economic model, and we will run a sensitivity analysis and we will deduct points for any such variations of the price. The extent of variation between other key terms as well will also, there will be an amount of 5 points that could be taken away in the event that there are variations of such other issues as power, water, lease, and so on of the property. There are additional benefits which will attract 5 points, such as corporate social responsibility, in terms of human development and technology transfer. This is the evaluation framework. Cabinet was approved this evaluation framework this morning, and this is the evaluation framework that we will be using to evaluate all such projects that are on the table at this point in time. And as I indicated before, a project evaluation unit will be established at the Ministry of Energy to conduct these evaluations. The second point, the second matter here is the Cabinet this morning approved the visit to Venezuela by a delegation from Trinidad and Tobago on the occasion of the exchange of instruments of ratification in respect of the framework treaty relating to the unitization of hydrocarbon reserves that extend across the delimitation line between the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. You would note that for some time that we have had discussions ongoing between Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago for that Lorraine-Manatee Treaty. So I'm pleased to inform the public this morning that we are going to Venezuela on Sunday, a team comprising, first of all, Leroy Myers, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Energy and Energy Affairs, Mrs. Indira Rampal, Senior State Counsel, Ministry of Energy and Energy Affairs, Mr. Gerald Thompson, Ambassador Extraordinaire, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and myself, Carolyn Seepersad Bachan, Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs, and that Cabinet has authorized me as Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs to execute on behalf of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago the field-specific Flora and Manatee Treaty relating to the unitization of hydrocarbon reservoirs that extend across the delimitation line between the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, and to participate in the exchange of instruments of ratification in respect of the Framework Treaty. So that, ladies and gentlemen, takes care of those two matters. I do have one other matter to report on, and that is, I have been advised I've been advised by Petrotrin that a leak developed on one of their trunk lines, a transfer line between Faisabad and the refinery. Some of you, I've seen it in the papers this morning. It has caused some problems. At this point in time, I'm advised that as a result of the torrential rains, there was a leak on the line. And because of the torrential rains across the country, the actual seepage of oil that was in that area has seeped into the Gordino River area. But at this point in time, the Ministry of Energy and the Environmental Management Authority is on site, and we are taking steps to contain this seepage. And we are checking on any issues relating to agriculture, because there are some issues or reported issues that residents to some of the open areas in terms of their farm animals, and these animals have gotten some revenue. This has been reported. I am awaiting confirmation by the Ministry of Energy and Energy Affairs based on their assessment. Is that my information is also from Petrotrin that immediate action was taken, and that booms in order to trap and capture the hydrocarbon that made its way into the tributaries that has been put in place, and this was to prevent any of the hydrocarbon reaching any of the major water courses. Work has also started on cutting the grass on the tributary banks that was covered by the seepage, and the area has also been treated with sorbent, which would absorb the surface oil. The cleanup exercise is expected to be completed by tomorrow, and I will be remaining closely in touch with Petrotrin to ensure that all can be done, is being done, and also be able to ensure that whatever the ministry can provide will be put in place. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen.